Recording from Chester County, Pennsylvania, this is Coast to Coast Sports, your weekly breakdown of the Philadelphia Eagles, Los Angeles Rams, and NFL teams from around the league. We're recapping last week, previewing what's ahead, and bringing you all the takes in between.
All right. Welcome back to Coast. This podcast is sponsored by Birdie Board, your all-in-one golf scoring app for matches, teams, and friendly competition. You can get it now on the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. It's the perfect time for that sort of app because we're in the dead of winter and we know everyone's golfing right now, but I'm still going to say it for that hope that someone wants to play golf in 12-degree weather.
The golf.
So, or the golf sim. Yeah, I guess you could use it in the golf sim. It might be overkill. Rams haven't played yet, so we just have the Eagles-Bills game to go over, get some takes on it, and then we'll use the rest of the time to just go over what we think is going to happen with the playoffs. I won't do the whole stat line, but I'll do some highlights. Eagles did end up winning 13-12. They almost lost at the end, but Bills could not get the 2-point conversion, so Eagles ended up walking away. This was very good for my predictions. I needed to gain a game back, so I was able to versus Mike and Ryan. And Noah is pretty much a perfect record, but he is not. He hasn't been participating the whole season, so maybe next season we'll get more participation out of him. Jalen Hurts. Very low amount of yards, 110 yards, 13 of 27, one touchdown. Barkley, pretty much the same as he's been all season, 68 yards on 19 carries. A.J. Brown, also 68 yards on 5 receptions. All right, Noah, I know you said you had some hot takes. What are your thoughts about this game?
Yeah, this has been the same old Eagles that we have come to know and love over this past. Over the first half, not bad. Not a bad performance. The defense was doing what the defense has been doing for the past few weeks now, past few months. They were dominant. Defensive line is really starting to take shape. And what I really like about the D-line, very similar to last season, they can put a lot of pressure on the quarterback with just rushing 4. They don't necessarily need to have an extra man blitzing. They don't need to come with a 5-man to consistently put pressure on the quarterback. So it's awesome. They're getting to the quarterback with 4. That was a theme from last year. It's great. Secondary, basically everyone's healthy, except for Makuba. I don't know how to pronounce it. Something like that. Secondary played well. Cooper DeJean is the best tackler in the NFL. I'll go ahead and say it. He just very good at everything that he does.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the defense was just looking great in the first half and the second half as well. Offense, we're actually making some plays in the first half. They were driving the ball downfield. I thought that they should have had at least one more touchdown than they did. I would have liked to seen them finish at least one more of those drives. I would have loved to seen them finish both of those drives that they ended up kicking field goals on. But that all went away in the second half where Jalen Hurts didn't complete a single pass. It's just that's been the theme all year is the Eagles. They've just looked offensively like a completely different team in 2 halves of a football game. One half they might look great. One half they might look horrible, or both halves they might look horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So the offensive coaching for the Eagles is just atrocious. It seems like they have 10 plays. Their call sheet is 10 plays long, and get them through a half of football, and then after that they have nothing else to. I mean, it was just there would be 3rd and 9s, and the play call is a Saquon Barkley run up the middle. I don't understand what the thought process could even be like. Yeah, the middle is going to be wide open, and Saquon's just going to shoot through for 9 yards. I don't see how that's realistic, especially with Cam Jurgens up in center. Ryan, I'm sure you'll have a lot more to say. it just doesn't make any sense. There's just, I don't know. There's just no creativity. It's the same thing time and time again. On third downs, you're seeing receivers run routes in front of the first down line. So they're catching the ball in front of the first down marker, which makes no sense to me at all. It just is. It doesn't make sense. It looks like they just kind of gave up on offense. There was just no fight on offense at all. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens the rest of the season. Here's where my hot take comes into play. This is what I was thinking as I was watching the game. Clearly, our offensive coaching is horrible. We have to do something at offensive coordinator. So then if we move on from Patullo, right, we now get another new offensive coordinator in. It's probably there's a stat out there. It's like Jalen Hurts has a new offensive coordinator basically every single year in his career, 2 years. And then
I've seen that.
There's one that was there for 2 years, or one other guy maybe in college that he had for 2 years. So anyway, in his pro career, I think he's had one offensive coordinator for 2 years. So then again, the cycle continues. I don't think it's a Jalen Hurts problem on offense because we have tape of Jalen Hurts doing things that he needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no scheme. He's never had a coordinator that consistently plays to all of the pieces, like strengths. The only player that we can consistently scheme open for whatever reason is Dallas Goedert. He is the only guy that Kevin Patullo can successfully scheme open. So then again, we need to get rid of Patullo. We need somebody new to come in, and then the cycle just continues of this is a new offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts. We have the team basically locked up till 2028, but then new offensive coordinator comes in. Maybe he works, maybe he doesn't work out, and then how big is this window that the Eagles have? The hot take is, even though Patullo is awful, what does it look like to actually bring him back and have a second year with the team? Because they desperately need some type of consistency. And even though he's awful, does he take a leap? Kind of just like how you see with quarterbacks throughout the league, like Josh Allen. Josh Allen threw a ton of interceptions when he first came in the league. Took a leap after year 2. You could say like our Eagles GM, or Howie Roseman. He had his GM.
That's a good example.
GM.
It's a great example, actually.
Responsibilities.
Rookie year.
That's really good.
And then Howie Roseman is by far the best GM in the league now.
No.
And so
Les Snead, he's the best.
Les Snead. I don't think I've ever heard Les Snead's name on any sports and analysts, like any sports show. Never.
You could convince me that's like
what other GM went 9 years without a first-round draft pick and had the same level of success as the Rams?
I'm just saying, if you go on like ESPN, you'll hear Howie's name all day. When they
but
Eagles,
they just love talking about the Eagles.
That could be. So I would. The hot take is interesting to keep consistency. If you really think that Patullo is the issue, the irony is I think Jalen's more the problem, but I still think Patullo should go just because I think he gets too much in his head, just like he did in that game. I think he did the same thing earlier in the year against Tampa. This game was identical to Tampa Bay. They went up early by multiple scores, and the offense they didn't get a single first down in the second half.
Yep.
And so they unfortunately can't run the ball. So first off, Ryan, I think you commented in our group chat. Opening drive, they throw it 3 times. And you're like, it's raining? Like, what are they doing?
Against the 28th rush defense.
I think that Patullo gets in his head because the Bills came out loading the box. And the Bills basically said, we have one of the best pass defenses in the league. They're top 5. We're going to dare the Eagles to basically beat us with the passing game. And I think Patullo came out and was like, oh, they're loading the box. Let's throw it to basically let's use the pass to open up the run, We've talked about that, right?
Yeah,
they can't
for
run the
sure.
ball this year. Use the pass to open another round. Now, you could say in the wind and rain, that's stupid to do. I actually don't disagree with the strategy. And of course, in hindsight, it looked terrible because they threw 3 straight passes and punted the ball. But the idea is if you pick up a first down through the air, then that's going to give you a chance to open up the run game versus starting the game with 2 runs for -2 yards and then 2 yards, and then it's 3rd and 10. You throw it incomplete, which is exactly what they did in the second half. So I actually didn't disagree with Petula's that first series. I think that was fine. The argument people are saying is that the Eagles got overly conservative in the second half. I guess I don't really see that because they were still throwing the ball a lot and they were still taking shots down the field. Mm-hmm. Like, conservative to me would be like, oh, he dumped it off to whoever. The reason, Noah, that I blame Jalen is Jalen drops back. He is looking down the field, feels pressure from the D-line, which there was, and then rolls right and throws the ball away. He did that 7 times, I counted. Now, here's the question. Out of those 7 times, if you put another QB in there, how many of them would stand there and just deliver a pass to somebody? Somebody is running a route one-on-one, and the ball just needs to put on.
Yeah, I watched. So I was off work today.
Okay, cool.
I watched every single Jalen Hurts' snap in the second half.
Cool.
And I do not like. I agree with your point. Hurts hasn't been good, but I think it's all the scheme and play calling. Like, almost nobody was open, and he made that great throw to Devontae Smith, where it kind of went through his hands.
Yeah.
But I do agree he does roll out often and panics and rolls out.
So would you argue, Ryan, when he did that? I mean, he did it, I think, 3 times in the first half, or 4 times in the first half, 3 times in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's justified in doing it because you're like, hey, because that's where it's just so hard to say. Like, is there a guy he could deliver the ball to, or is he just so in his head about not turning the ball over that he's just not like this is my issue. Like, how do you know? Because unless we see a view of Jalen's view when he drops back, I don't know. I'm sitting there going, dude,
it's a fair point.
When you do that 7 times and you do it multiple times on 3rd down, you're ending drives instead of taking a shot at a guy and giving him a chance for the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're watching
the stats
that.
Don't lie. He still only had 110 yards. I think if you're a good quarterback, even in a bad scheme, I think your floor is higher than that, in my opinion.
Also, I would argue Petula's not the one getting paid $160 million. So when you're getting paid 160, or is it 2? Is it 2? No, it's 160, right?
Yeah, 40 mil a year. Yeah.
Something like that. That, like, when the offense can't run, which they proved, that to me was actually the big takeaway offensively, is that they can't run the ball this year. They're not a good run team.
Identity.
So no, but the point is this: their identity has to be that Jalen, the $160 million guy, has to step up and win the game, and so that's what he's going to have to do in the playoffs.
Their identity is punting, by the way. That's their identity.
What this comes down to is: do you believe Jalen, when they can't run against either San Fran or Seattle, because they're not going to be able to, because those guys are going to completely shut down the run game, the defense will do its job.
Mike, I'm surprised you didn't say the Rams. Did you make a mistake?
We're not playing the Rams in the first round, so that's not even a consideration.
Okay.
Seattle or the Niners, first round game, when their run game gets shut down and the defense does its job and gives up around 17 points, can Jalen deliver? And my answer right now is no. Like, we would lose because of him, and I would blame him. I mean, again, if you guys want to say, oh, but the play calling was bad, and so therefore he couldn't deliver the ball, and that's why they lost, I guess you could say it that way. But it's on him because he's getting paid that money.
Yeah, and I totally agree with this, and I want to make a couple points just because I wrote these down, and if I don't get them out, I'll lose sleep, and then we'll kind of move on to the seeding. But Mike, I do understand your point on Hurts, and I know Noah, you're more of a Hurts fan, and Mike, I think you're a fan of them, but you're I think more critical. I think I'm right in the middle.
Sure.
For you guys, I think I lean more towards Mike's side, but based on what I saw yesterday, I think it was less on Hurts than usual. But like the Chargers game, all Hurts. That was the worst game I've ever seen.
Sure.
Here's my points. 1, Cam Jurgens is horrible. He is on Sidney Brown territory. On this podcast, we literally rip Sidney Brown to shreds.
Yeah.
And I swear, that Kevin Petula hurt us, or Nick Sirianni, and he got benched for who?
I know they're avid listeners.
Because Epps got healthy. Epps was injured.
Yeah. Okay.
He came off the injury.
And then how? Epps is not perfect, but how much better is he than
he's way better. He
Sidney
hits
Brown?
Hard.
Awesome. Sidney Brown, literally, his last thing he did was broke our safety's ankle. Next,
Yes. Yeah,
run blocking and scheme is so bad. It's the worst since the Chip Kelly era.
sure.
We cannot put away games. The refs hate us. We got screwed on
We did
multiple.
get shafted.
We got
Okay,
shafted
well,
twice.
So the refs have been terrible at this second
So
half of the
bad.
season. I see
They've
it
been
in
terrible
every
for
game.
most teams.
Yeah.
Quinion with perfect coverage gets
Yes.
a PI, and then AJ has his arm
AJ has his arm barred, locked to the
locked. He has to make a one-hand catch because he's being handcuffed.
But Ryan, I would argue expect that's been the calls all season. Expect those calls to go against you again in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you just have to survive and win despite the calls. You can't just go, oh, everything's going to change. This is how it will be in the playoffs.
Yes. And
This
is
makes me
Everest.
so mad. Next, how good is a healthy Jalen Carter? This man
Unbelievable.
couldn't. We were like, hey, what happened to him? He's not as good. He couldn't do a push-up.
Yeah.
He couldn't do one push-up. I have to do 100. He couldn't do one. He gets shots, and he was the best. He was the best player on the field yesterday. We don't win that game unless he blocks that extra point.
Yeah. Do you guys think, real quick, Ryan, do you guys think any other defense in the NFL would have held the Bills to 12 points if they were on the field for 40 minutes yesterday?
Yes.
I don't think a single defense would have held the Bills.
I have
Maybe-
one in mind.
Go ahead.
Maybe
give me
the
one.
Browns.
Rams.
Don't say the Rams, dude. The Rams would have given up 30 at least if they were on the field
Yeah.
for 40 minutes.
Next point. How dumb are the Bills going for 2 points there? The Eagles couldn't move the ball an inch. And
No,
like
I
it
heard
is
it
the-
explained. It actually made sense. It
Yeah.
actually made sense.
I think that's one of the dumbest decisions.
Ryan, remember,
Next.
they knew they're probably not going to win the division anyway because the Pats have an easy win next week. And you don't want to go to extra time and overtime because then it's just more wear and tear on your team. You're trying to rest. So just go for the win or lose, and whatever it is, it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah. That's fair. I didn't really know their seeding. Next, I do think the Eagles can compete with anybody because our defense is like Hall of Fame right now.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. Next, this team has no identity, like I said before. Next,
Dude,
It
wait,
got-
wait. The
it got to a
identity is
point-
Jalen, Ryan. The identity is Jalen. Jalen come through and perform. He doesn't do it. That's the
Yeah.
identity.
Yeah.
For years, the identity for the Rams was Aaron Donald. We had nothing else.
yeah.
That's true.
And
And then
for 1 million touchdowns in the playoffs.
2 last points. It got to a point. I was watching this with 2 of my buddies, and I wanted the Eagles to get the ball and take 3 knees and then punt it.
Yes.
What kind of fan is rooting for that?
Yeah,
What kind
it's
of fan?
It's bad.
Because I was like, one, we're not going to get a first down. We're not even going to move the ball. Our only risk is to have a turnover here and give them better field positioning. So I'm rooting for the Eagles to kneel the ball down. That is the state I'm in the fourth quarter. And lastly, I know Noah said this is locked up to 2028. We are going to be screwed on defense because Jordan Davis, Mike's favorite player, has had a unbelievable year, and he's in a 5th-year option, so he has to get paid if he's going to stay. Jalen Carter's going into his 4th year, which is the year that Micah started to do all his holdout and all the drama with that. And then you have to pay Quinion and Cooper. They're only in their second
Quinion
year.
and Cooper have another year, so you don't have to worry about that.
Oh yeah. Well, no, Cooper doesn't, but Quinion does, right? Because he's like a 5-year, like he's a first-round pick, so you get an extra year, and then Coop's only a 4.
But Coop, it'll be his 3rd year, no?
Yes, but like Eagles pay people before they go to free agency. So I'm just saying, like, this core is going to get broken down.
They would pay Cooper going into his 4th year. Next year, he's going into his 3rd. Same.
No, I know, but they have to pay Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter next year, and then pay Quinion and Cooper the following year.
Yes.
And I don't think we can afford all 4 of those max
No,
contracts.
Jordan Davis is gone, but when AJ leaves, that'll allow us to pay Jalen, and then we'll be able to afford Cooper and Quinion. But AJ's
fair.
gone, and Jordan.
And
Davis is gone.
yeah, and our defense is like the 3rd cheapest in the NFL.
Well,
Imagine,
'cause all our money's in the offense. That's the irony.
yeah, and we're punting on first down, and we're hoping to punt on first down. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Those are my points.
Go ahead,
We can-
Corey.
We can
Move
move
us
on.
All right. So I'll start off. We're going to move now to kind of the playoff picture. I'll start off with the easy one. We know the Rams had to have either the 49ers or Seattle lose last week.
Yep.
Both of them won, which actually makes a very exciting game coming up next week with Seattle's and 49ers. But in the Rams case, I wouldn't be surprised if they even sat some of their starters tonight. They, I don't think they would care too much. The only reason that I think they would play tonight is we have the Falcons' first round pick next year, so we
Mm,
would want
That's
them to
so legit.
lose. So I could see them playing and maybe hopefully getting a commanding lead and then maybe putting Garoppolo in like the fourth quarter or something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to spend too much time on that. We know where it's at. Rams are going to be some wild card spot. It's going
Well,
to
wait,
come down
Corey,
to,
can we ask you a question real quick?
yeah.
Do you think the Rams should try to build leads tonight and Sunday to avoid a first round matchup with Philly versus just giving in, losing to the Cardinals, having to play the Eagles instead of being the 4 seed and getting the easy matchup against the Panthers or Bucks? So that's what's like people will always say, like, oh, I don't well, like last week we got into it. Matchups matter. Like who you have to play matters. And so the Rams being able to play, I mean, think about it. If they play Philly, then have to go to San Fran, then have to play Seattle, that is a brutal stretch run to the Super Bowl versus, oh, they got Tampa round one, then they go to Chicago, and then they get San Fran. Like that's just a totally different path.
Yeah.
Would you, if you're the coach, emphasize trying to win the next 2 weeks, whether that means playing your starters for the first 3 quarters or first half, building a lead so that you avoid that first round matchup and you guarantee yourself a matchup with the Bucks or Panthers?
So I sent you a screenshot of what I think the playoffs were going to be.
Yes.
Um,
You think the
that's
Bears are going to lose to the Lions? That's interesting.
that's the
The Bears are
yes.
favored over the Lions, so that would mean that the Bears at home choke a game to a team that has nothing to play for.
Yes. And because I think the Lions would want to do that, especially under Dan Campbell.
Oh yeah, well sure,
Yeah.
I could see that.
The Lions will play for pride. They're
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
My argument,
I
go
agree.
ahead.
And Chicago doesn't have much of a reason to play super hard because like they don't really have the chance at the first seed anymore. So they're either going to be second or third.
So the issue though is you're still saying you would take a matchup with the Bears or Eagles first round over a matchup with Panthers or Bucks. Why would you choose that if you had to choose?
So I don't think it would be the preference of the matchup. I think it's more so I would rather our starters rest. I think that's valuable. Like I think we would play a better first round with rested starters, even if that means we're playing like the Bears in the first round. What I really would like, um, and in both scenarios, I'm kind of thinking is the Rams play Tampa Bay or the Panthers in the first round. So that just requires the Rams to win out. Even if they lose versus the Cardinals, and kind of how I see it playing out, we would play Chicago. And I kind of wouldn't mind playing Chicago because I think they're a joke of a third or third team in the NFL or in the playoffs right now. Like their strength of schedule is nothing.
Sure.
So I think I would rather I think in both scenarios I'm happy. I
Yeah.
don't think I would want to go to the Eagles though. So I'm
But,
banking on the Eagles locking up the second seed
yeah.
and the Rams being in fifth or sixth.
And the problem is you don't know that until the Bears play Sunday at 4:25 when you play. So
Right. But I still
I'm just
don't
saying,
think
I think
I
you would
still don't
much
think they're
rather.
gonna I still think the rest is gonna be better for the
Okay.
Rams.
So you
So
would take a rested Rams team having to go to Philly instead of a
Yes.
Rams team who played the first half against the Cardinals and then got to go to
Yes.
Tampa.
Yes, because the Eagles look
Fascinating.
terrible right now.
I mean, you're going to play the best defense in the NFL. I would take Tampa in a heartbeat.
It's also a revenge game.
No, dude. The Bucks are 7-9. They look horrible. And then they're probably going to lose to the Panthers anyway. And then you get to go to get revenge on the Panthers, who are trash.
you build some.
I will say this, if
Panthers are
any way we
terrible.
cut it, the Rams, I think, have a good path in the first round. Because if we play the Bucks or the Panthers, we have an easy win there. If we play Chicago, we're playing the team with the probably that shouldn't even be in the playoffs. And then, or we play the Eagles, who are crawling right now and on their deathbed. Like,
I don't know, dude. The Eagles have the best defense in the NFL.
I'm
I don't
just
even
happy we don't have to play the 49ers.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Dude,
I get it.
So, hold on. So, if the Rams win these next two games, what's their seed? Or that
Automatically, they're automatically the 5, guaranteed.
automatically the
Yeah.
5. Let's say if they win one of the two, that depends on Seattle next
It
week.
depends on Seattle and San Fran.
Yeah.
If San Fran wins, they would be the
Number one.
yeah.
The number one.
No. But the question is, frick, I can't remember. If San Fran wins, Seattle becomes the 5, and the Rams are the 6. If Seattle wins, the Rams become the 6, and the Rams are the 5, and the 49ers are the 6.
Yeah.
So it
can really jump
differentiates
around.
what the Rams become if they split the next 2 games.
We can't play the Rams or the Niners. I'm okay playing
Dude, I'm
Seattle.
fine. I'm fine with the Niners.
I'm fine with the Niners.
What? Did you guys watch that
The
game?
Niners D just gave up 330 yards to Caleb Williams without a starting receiver. Their defense is atrocious.
The Eagles
They
offense.
They gave up multiple touchdowns to Phillip Rivers, who can't even bend his arm past this degree. They might have the worst secondary defense that I've ever seen.
They match up very well with the Eagles in the fact that their strength is the offense, which the Eagles can take care of, and their weakness is the defense, which the Eagles desperately need.
Their weakness is the passing game. The Eagles would, I think, as bad as Jalen has been.
The Bears kept us to 9 points. Okay, the Bears defense. San Fran dropped 42 on their heads and had a pick, and Purdy threw a pick 6. Like, they punted one time in the month of December. They have one punt. Eagles have 40,000 punts.
All I know is, dude, if your secondary gives up 330 yards to Caleb Williams without a starting receiver, dude, who was he even throwing to? I didn't look it up. Does anyone know who he threw the ball to?
Luther Burden was his guy last night.
Luther Burden?
Dude,
he's a rookie, bro. He's talented,
insane. Dude. That is ridiculous.
Dude, look at the Patriots back in the day. He was throwing to random people, and it's all scheme. It's all
Colston Loveland.
Bro, he's a top tight end talent, dude.
This is embarrassing for the 49ers.
Dude, I'd rather almost play the Rams than the Niners. I really think about it. I don't want to play the Rams the most, but then Niners are second, then the Bears, then the Seattle, and then Green Bay.
Last night was worse than Kendrick Bourne putting up 10 receptions and 142 yards on the Rams, which was embarrassing. It was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen.
He is a top-tier wide receiver that the rest of the league hasn't seen
yet. These guys will just come out of the closet. They're literally on the couch, and they put up these numbers. You're like...
I can tell you why, Mike. That is Kyle Shanahan's offense. That is, like, dude, he can drop anyone into that offense, and they will work in his system.
Productivity, dude.
Guys, I'm talking about the Bears. You're talking about Kendrick Bourne. I see.
Yeah. All right, Mike, hold on.
Actually, real quick.
Yeah.
Before you start that, Ryan, I want to transition us to continue to talk about the Eagles, but let's do a quick break and come back after that for like 10, 15 minutes.
Are you dealing with nagging pain in your neck or low back? How about your shoulders or hips, elbows or knees? How about your ankles or your feet? At Restorative Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation in Thorndale, we're one of the only private clinics in the area providing true one-on-one care focused on relieving pain and restoring movement. Get back to doing what you love. Schedule your appointment today with Restorative Physical Therapy. Restorative Physical Therapy, relieve your pain, regain your life.
Welcome back. I guess all that's left is just to talk about what you guys, you kind of already were getting into it, what you guys hope for the Eagles in the first round of the playoffs. Ryan, I cut you off, so why don't you continue your fun little rant you got going on?
Yeah, so I was actually going to ask a question for Mike. So, Mike, can you walk us through, because honestly, this is overwhelming me, all the different possibilities, like what the possibilities are for the Eagles for the playoff seeding. With like, I think I understand the 2 and 3 with the Bears and them, but like, who could we possibly play? And then hear from you guys of who you guys want to play? Because
Yeah.
I feel like we have very different opinions on
Yeah.
that.
So I think what a lot of us would argue would be the best case scenario is that the Eagles could get the 2 seed by beating Washington, the Bears losing to the Lions, and then we would host the Packers, who
Yes.
are basically limping into the playoffs.
But you didn't want that before.
I still don't, because we have owned the Packers and we've just beaten them 4 times the last 4 times we played them. I think at some point a team is due to beat you. It's similar to how I feel with the Rams. The difference is I think the Rams are a legitimately good team. The Packers have just been beat up, but last time we played the Packers, they had lost their best offensive player, their tight end, and now they've kind of worked out not having him, and they have Watson back. Well, Watson got hurt, but now he's back again. So they did lose Micah Parsons. The point is this: that would probably be the easiest matchup on paper for the Eagles' first round. Okay, so their other 3 options then are just the NFC West: Rams, Niners, Seattle. Now, the reason I said Seattle is technically most likely, just statistically,
Okay.
is because the 49ers are favored on Saturday night to win.
They are? Is it home?
It's in San Fran. It's close, though. They're favored by like 2 points.
Okay.
So they're basically saying it's a toss-up. With the way the Niners are playing, and Seattle's offense has been pretty suspect, at least to start games. I mean, they barely scored against the Colts.
They just don't look great. Yeah.
They look iffy. I would take a matchup against Sam Darnold in the playoffs in a heartbeat. But so the argument is, if they win that game, the Rams are favored by 7.5 tonight against the Falcons, and then they're favored by like 10 against the Cardinals. Even if they play their backups, the Rams are still favored to beat the Cardinals. And then the Bears are favored to beat the Lions. So if all of that happens in terms of what teams are favored, if it just goes chalk, the Eagles are hosting Seattle as the 3 seed. Of course, the Bears are only favored by 3 or 2.5 or 3 at home. So, and then Seattle San Fran's a close matchup as well. So obviously those could be close to toss-ups, and that would very much differentiate who the Eagles would end up playing. If the Niners end up losing to Seattle, we still are more likely to play the Niners, because as long as Seattle or the Rams win tonight, I'm pretty sure they'll hold the tiebreaker over the Niners. So then we would play San Fran. So our chances of playing, I would argue, our chances of playing the Rams are relatively low, actually. I know people think we're like headed because they see us right now in the standings. I don't think there's that high of a chance we're going to play the Rams in the first round.
I actually think that's best case scenario for the Rams too. I think I wouldn't want to play the Eagles. I would prefer the Bears or whoever's going to get the other seed.
Yeah. If I had to put money on it right now, I would say that we're going to end up playing Seattle. The Rams are going to end up going to Tampa or something like that. And then Chicago is going to host Green Bay. And
that's going to be awesome. Just because those 2 teams hate each other.
I know. That's going to be
San
such a good
Fran
game.
would get the bye. And then the irony is the Eagles, we would be cheering for the Bears to win, because if we beat Seattle, we'd rather go to Chicago than play the Rams. Yeah. And if Chicago lost, we would go.
Would you guys rather go to Chicago than host the Rams?
In a heartbeat, without even thinking. It's not even a question.
Guys, the Bears looked so good last night too. You guys didn't watch last night's game?
Dude. Don't give a frick. They're not that good. They're going to choke in a home playoff game.
Yep.
To me, the path that gets you there right now is Seattle.
Bears haven't seen the playoffs.
Yeah, Seattle at the Bears, and then you're probably hosting the Rams, who I think would go beat the Niners in San Fran.
Yes, I think it's avoid Rams at all costs. I think that our defense can handle the Seahawks offense. I think about the Niners. Our defense can handle the Niners offense. Packers, Malik Willis might come in and beat us.
It's Jordan Love. Right? It was Jordan Love.
He looks so good.
Malik Willis looked great. But I still think that with Jordan Love, our defense is going to handle their offense. So that's where I think it's avoid Rams at all cost. And if we get them first round, that's unfortunate.
Also, the Packers defense just crumbled against the Ravens, man. Like Derrick Henry ran all over them. So now you're looking at a potential. The Eagles could potentially run the ball against the Packers, and then you're like, so that's why I think actually, like, when you're just looking on paper, you want the matchup with the Packers. You really do.
Yes, that's the most ideal outcome is the Packers. The Seahawks scared me during the regular season, but I don't know. I think that I think that we could handle business with the Seahawks. Their run game isn't anything crazy. I think we could stop that, and then it's just a question of. I think we can lock up their receivers. So
would we score though? I think that's the issue because they have a really good defense. Like I don't know if we could score against them personally.
That would be the tough part.
Like I almost think our defense would have to create turnovers to put us in scoring position to win like 13-7.
I want to play the team that has the weakest punt returner. So when they receive our punts, they will fumble it, not go anywhere. That's our best chance. The only way we scored against the Bills is because we got the ball inside their 50-yard line because Josh Allen threw it backwards or something.
Yes, but Ryan, if they called that PI on AJ, that was obvious. We would on that one drive we got 3 points. It would have been 1st and goal at the 2.
Yeah.
We would have scored another touchdown. So it should have been 17.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean we did get shafted, but
Totally shafted.
I do think you guys made me think about the Niners a little bit with the matchup because their defense is so bad. Because the Niners' defense is so bad, right? This is what you guys are telling me. And last
their
night,
run defense is decent. We would not run the ball against them.
Yeah,
we really would.
And last night was kind of proven of that. They let up 40 points, right? If the Eagles do play San Fran, this is our only chance at making the Super Bowl. And if our offense just puts up like 35 points on a weak defense, I think that is what can catapult us to the next level. So I do worry about playing a really good defense because we're going nowhere. We're going 3 and out for 3 quarters and have 1 good quarter. You know what I mean?
Ryan, can any of you guys name who were the top 2 receivers for the Niners last night? Name one of the top 2 receivers in terms of yards.
Ricky Pearsall.
Ricky freaking Pearsall? What is going on?
Bro, look at his routes, dude. He is good.
I don't give a frick.
He's a first-round draft pick, dude.
Dude, Mike, this isn't Debo in 2019.
All freaking year.
Dude, he is schemed open. Dude,
Jake Tonges had a pretty good night. Who just stepped in for Kittle? I think.
Okay, wait.
Tom Brady.
Number 2. It's a tight end. Tell me who it was.
Jake Tonges.
What the frick? Jake Tonges. What is going on?
Mike, in 2017, Tom Brady threw for 500 yards in Super Bowl. And what was that white receiver? Ben Hogan or something? He was a practice squad player. He had 150 yards. It's schemed open. These teams scheme them open.
An elite quarterback throwing the ball, not freaking Brock Purdy.
Dude, Brock Purdy is so good, dude.
He looks that good.
Dude, did you see his little shimmy? He had 5 total touchdowns. Yes, like he was untouchable in the game. He was so good.
Corey, is Brock Purdy that good? Please. You cannot say
Corey knows he's good.
He fits really well in
He's not a top. He's not a.
Thank you.
He's not a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. I don't even think
top 12.
Look how good the Niners.
Top 12.
Oh yeah, look how good the Niners were with Jimmy Garoppolo, who we all know is buns, and they had a Super Bowl in their like right in their grasp.
Ryan, they had the best defense I've ever seen in my life.
That defense was amazing.
The best defense I've ever seen, and Brock Purdy with the best defense I've ever seen. It's 2 times in 3 years, right? They lost to the Chiefs twice. With the best defense, it was literally the best defensive front I've ever seen. The Niners don't have that this year. They don't. They're gone or hurt. We already talked about that. So
Fred Warner's coming back, but yeah.
He doesn't have that, and he doesn't have the offensive weapons.
Dude, he was so good last night.
Plus Ayuk. Now he has freaking Ricky Pearsall and Jake Tonges.
Dude,
and they
Ricky
don't have Warner or Bosa, and you can't even name a player on their defense. I just don't. I mean, the scheme's great. I get it. In the playoffs, things change. Scheme only gets you so far. If you were trying to argue that scheme got the Patriots their Super Bowls, no, it was freaking Tom Brady. He's the best quarterback of all time.
And scheme.
Well, scheme's okay, but what happened to Belichick, dude, when he went to North Carolina and he took his scheme with him?
He did. So Belichick is defensive scheme. They had the Josh whoever.
McDaniels?
Yeah.
Dude, how come when Josh McDaniels goes to become a head coach with the Raiders and the Broncos, his offensive scheme is trash?
Because he's only good at the offense. He's not good at managing the whole team.
If he doesn't have Brady, he sucks. So now you're trying to compare Brady and Purdy, and it's not even close.
Dude, look how good McVay was once he like what he had Golf, right? Who's
Hmm.
decent. Well, who's decent, right? He got Super Bowl,
Sure.
but they got like their defense, the Patriots defense swallowed up Golf. Then they get Stafford, instantly win a Super Bowl. Stafford's MVP. If you have a quarterback with a great coordinator, I can if Shanahan had freaking Joe Burrow, oh my gosh, we would
Oh
never win
yeah.
a game. We would just punt. We'd punt the whole game, nonstop
It'd
punting.
be like the AFC, just a top heavy conference.
Oh my gosh, and he's had to deal with Jimmy Garoppolo. He's won two Super Bowls with him. I would give anything for a Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan play caller.
Oh, big
We
time.
Just
have
a
we have Nick Sirianni who's just yelling in the tunnel, and AJ
just
Brown's
a
like, "Who's
quick
this guy?"
update.
It's
The
okay.
Rams' elite defense, according to Curry, according
Curry.
to Corey, just gave up 70 yards and a touchdown to Kirk Cousins.
That seems like we're right on track.
This brings up
Quick
something
update.
interesting. This is what I wanted to ask. So, Eagles sounds like consensus number one defense in the NFC out of the playoff teams.
Not even close.
Who
Without
is
question.
number two? Because whoever's number two is going to be the Eagles' kryptonite because we can't play a good defense. So, who out of
Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah,
It's
Seattle's
Seattle.
defense.
It's Seattle. So
Okay,
no,
Seattle.
that's a good point.
that could be tough then if
And
Seattle's best defense and we're playing them.
Yeah. Yeah, it is Seattle.
what's the worst defense?
Chicago.
Well, if
It's
we're
got to
not-
be San Fran.
if we're not counting the Panthers or the Bucks, right?
No, they don't count. They're
Don't even
they're
count them.
they're just done because
Irrelevant.
They're losing by first.
Who's the worst defense?
the Bucks just lost to the Dolphins.
Dude, the worst defense could actually be the Packers with how they just played against the Ravens.
Really?
They just gave up. Here. Let's look at
They're-
quick stat line from that
Or
game to
rush-
Snoop Huntley. They
Snoop,
gave up
like an all-
Tyler Huntley, though.
216 yards and 4 touchdowns to Derrick Henry.
Tyler Huntley, though, dude, he's
And
on
they
the
let
come up.
Tyler Snoop Huntley
Snoop.
16 complete passes on 20 attempts.
Did you guys watch that halftime show? That was all the Snoop Dogg Christmas special. It was hilarious, dude.
They were all swaying at the end.
Dude,
All right, so
I'm now convinced the Falcons are going to win. Here's what's funny. My front desk guy is a Bucks fan, and he goes, "Yo, the Falcons are going to win tonight." And I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "Because if the Falcons win tonight and the Falcons win on Sunday, it creates a rare tiebreaker between them, Panthers, and Bucks, where even if the Bucks beat the Panthers win the division because of a tiebreaker the Bucks would have with the Falcons."
What? Hold on.
I had no
If
idea.
the Falcons win,
If the
win the next
Falcons win tonight and they win on Sunday, the Panthers would win the division automatically,
Regardless.
even with a loss to the Bucks.
I hope that happens. That's amazing. I hope
No, but
Baker
that
gets
also
wrecked.
means Carolina would make the playoffs 8 and 9.
yes.
No, oh yes,
If
it
they-
was 8-9. So Corey, I'm just saying, again, at that point, if you guys lose to the
Ooh.
Falcons tonight and the Falcons beat the Saints next week, which could very well happen, then you're automatically it's the Panthers who are getting in. I'm just saying, you guys don't you wouldn't put even just play your starters in the first half, to beat the Cardinals to avoid. Again, it would depend on who wins.
We can beat the Cardinals with our backups.
Yeah, you probably could.
And I think at this point too, the Cardinals don't want to win. Like
No,
they're
like,
trying to get the
these
highest
teams-
pick ever.
Same
But
with
dude,
the
Browns
Commanders.
just beat the Steelers and gave up a top 3 pick.
All
Corey,
right, I want to know your guys' final thoughts though, because we're running out of time. So just
Yeah.
overall, what are your final thoughts for the playoffs? Ryan, you go first.
yeah, I would say I really don't know. You guys are making me think. I don't know who I want to play. I think my gut says I want to play Green Bay, and if not, Seattle.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where I'm at. I just want to avoid the Rams until the NFC Championship, which we won't make. But that's my thought process. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I mean the best case for us is that we get the 2, because then we avoid any possibility of a first round matchup with the Rams, no matter what they do tonight
Yeah.
or Sunday. Plus, there's no possibility of a second round matchup with the Rams either, right?
Hmm.
Because then if we win as the 2, we can't end up playing them because they would audit. Nope, sorry, I'm wrong. The Bears
We
still
could.
lose as the 3.
Yeah, because the playoff picture that I would hope for is either the Rams playing Chicago or Carolina. And if we play Chicago, that means we would be the sixth seed, which means
If you win, no, if you win, you would automatically go to San Francisco. Corey, you had the
oh
Packers
yeah,
beating the Eagles as the 7th.
yeah.
So if we're assuming if the Eagles beat the
Well,
Packers, we
yeah, I was
avoid
also
even if the
assuming the
Rams end up
Packers would
6th.
beat the Eagles.
Yeah, again, which look at this point, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
But
honestly,
the perfect
that's a fair
scenario,
guess.
My okay.
Eagles get the 2.
Mike, I'll let you finish and I'll give my perfect scenario.
Okay, Eagles get the 2, beat the Packers. Rams are the 6. They go to Chicago, then they have to go to San Fran, and actually at that point we would cheer for the Rams to beat San Fran because then we would get to host the NFC Championship game, meaning we could
Yeah.
literally go host the Packers, host Seattle, host the Rams. Which that'd be
That's
perfect.
our best case.
That's almost perfect.
No? Oh, I mean, so Corey, you said you were going to jump in.
Well, yeah, no, you go first. Keep the Eagles going,
give
and then
your
I'll jump
scenario.
back to the Rams.
Yeah, I think the Rams are the elite team in the NFC, so want to avoid them at all costs. Like I was saying, I think that I agree. I think the Lions are going to beat the Bears on Sunday.
Wow.
I think
That's
that there's
wild.
a good chance that we will end up with the number 2 seed, which would be great for the Eagles. I think we'd get into some serious trouble with the 3 seed if we have to play the Seahawks. So 2 seed would be great. I think there's a pretty good chance that it happens as long as the Commanders don't pull something crazy on us.
They're going to be headhunting.
Yeah, they're motivated after that 2-point conversion.
Yeah. So I think that
Which is idiotic because they're losing draft picks. Yeah. Go ahead, Noah.
Yeah, I think that the Rams are the most complete team. I think that you could argue the Seahawks are probably the second most complete team.
Mhm.
So I think that Mike kind of laid it out perfectly. That's the ideal scenario. We get the 2, we beat the Packers, and then we host Seattle potentially, or maybe if Seattle is the 1 seed, who would they play? Let's say Seattle wins.
As you're saying, if we're the 2 seed,
let's say Seattle's the 1 seed, we're the 2 seed. Who would Seattle play their first game?
they would most likely play the Rams.
That would be yeah.
Well, sorry.
That's for us because I think that those are the 2 teams that pose the biggest threat to the Eagles. So if they can play each other in the playoffs, that would be best case for the Eagles.
It's all right, but technically the Rams, if they just win one of the next 2, I think win the tiebreaker over the Niners, meaning the Rams would be 5, Niners 6. And if the Niners upset the Bears, they would go to Seattle and we would actually host the Rams. So that I keep getting it mixed up, but the Seattle holds the tiebreaker over the Rams just because they're 2 games ahead of them. So even if the Rams win the next 2, there's nothing the Rams can do to overcome Seattle. Even if Seattle loses, they can overtake San Fran though.
Yeah. So if it all works out and the Rams play the Seahawks, that would be best case scenario, along with the Eagles getting the number 2 seed. So yes, I think Mike laid it out perfectly how the Eagles. So I guess if the Eagles could do Packers at home, Niners at home, then Rams at home, that's probably
even more perfect.
That's probably better than Seahawks and Rams at home.
Love it.
Niners is very unlikely though, just because of that. Yeah.
All right,
Corey, hit us.
I got a crazy one for you guys.
All right.
Seattle gets the first seed bye week. Then we have Green Bay playing Philly, LA playing Chicago, 49ers playing Carolina at 8 and 9.
How are the 49ers the 5 seed?
Because the Rams lose out.
Oh, you guys lose to the Falcons and the Cardinals? Oh my gosh. You're pulling like crazy.
Listen, this is the most ideal path in my mind.
Okay. So it's funny, it involves you guys tanking the last 2 years.
Yes, except we're 60, not 7. Green Bay goes into Philly, beats Philly.
Okay.
Rams go into Chicago, beat Chicago. Carolina beats the 49ers at home. 49ers are out. Rams don't have to worry about them. Now the Rams are 6th seed playing Playing Carolina. Green Bay goes in Seattle, beats Seattle. The Rams go into Carolina, beat Carolina. Now it's Rams,
Coast to
Green
pass.
Bay. We get the NFC Championship home game, beat Green Bay, go into the Super Bowl, and win everything.
He literally has the 5, 6, and 7 seeds all win.
I don't know if I don't think that's ever happened, right?
But you're just a big Packers fan, essentially.
Yeah, until they play the Rams in the NFC Championship.
I mean, look, boys, we should be honest. You should cheer against the biggest threat to you, right? So
Yeah.
if the Rams end up playing the Bears or they end up playing
To have the 49ers
Sure,
out of the
yes.
playoffs in the first round, and then we have to just go beat Carolina and Green Bay, like that is the best path right there.
path is what does it, dude. That wraps up this week's episode of Coast to Coast Sports. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and share the show with a fellow football fan. From Philly to LA and around the league, we'll be back next week with more sports talk.